Hello, and welcome to Lopes on Movies. My name is Joey Lopes, and today I am joined by Connor.
Hey, Joey.
And Kyle.
Hey, Joey.
That was pretty good. They're very similar. How you guys doing? You know, we're here to talk about movies. We're, like we always do every week. It's what we do on this show. It's so exciting, so fun every time. I always have a blast. What about you guys? Are you guys excited for today's episode?
Yeah, I'm thrilled.
Yeah, like always.
Man, you guys make it sound so routine. We need
No.
We need to get back to that energy of like the first few episodes. Remember, like our first episode was like Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
The energy of that one.
we were
We gotta
so
get back
excited.
to seeing good movies. That's what it is.
Yeah, great movies like Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
I think like we all had after like the first few shows of like things that were coming out. Then it was like Detective Pikachu, then John Wick Chapter 3, then Godzilla King of the Monsters, and we were like, oh man, we need to start
don't
watching.
forget Ma.
Yeah, Ma's like our fourth episode or
And
something
we were
like that.
we got to start watching things that are good.
Yeah, I was starting to worry that our show was going to be nothing but just straight negativity the entire time.
Hey, Ma was great. I don't care what you guys
Yeah,
say.
I had a great time.
Who would have thought that Ma would be the best of those four?
I'm going to bet that a large percentage of people listening to this don't even remember Ma.
No one does.
Yeah,
I actually forgot about it until I saw a commercial the other day.
There's
saw
a
a
commercial
commercial?
for Ma?
Yeah, like it was like someone was being like, "Hey, check out these hot new movies on demand," and Ma was one of them.
Nice.
I bet you that's actually a controversial thing. People like John Wick Chapter 3, and there were parts that were cool, but the story was just like...
Yeah, I would
wanted,
never
I wanted
say-
it to be over, I just wanted it to be over.
I would have been happy if John Wick Chapter 3 was the last one.
But apparently, there's John Wick Chapter 4 and 5 are going to be in production at the same time.
People just want to keep watching the same movie like 8 different times.
They do.
Yeah.
They love it, and they're going to keep getting it. And originally, before the quarantine and the whole virus, I believe Matrix 4 and John Wick Chapter 4 were supposed to come out the same weekend.
Oh yeah, that's
So
right.
we were robbed of that joy, but
And don't even forget about Avatars 7, 8, and 9, which were supposed to release.
Darn you, COVID.
Yeah. Well, let's maybe instead of wallowing in the state of the movie industry as we always do in sadness, let's talk about something that brought at least me and Kyle a lot of joy over maybe in an ironic way over the past couple of days.
oh, I can't wait to hear what this is.
Are you talking about DC Fan Fest? I think that's
Wait,
what it's called.
what is DC Fan Fest?
Wait, is it DC? I don't know. It's whatever they announced all this stuff at.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm actually not aware of any of like. Yeah, okay. So we want to talk just a little bit, about some of the Snyder Cut stuff going on. We actually did talk about this, I think, a few weeks ago, but it's back in the news lately because of the trailer recently was released, or at least like a little teaser trailer. So it's been just all over the internet and can't get away from the Snyder Cut stuff. So it felt like a good time to drop back in and discuss it a little bit. Of course, like as you all know, the Snyder Cut is a reworking of that Justice League movie, the DC Comics Justice League movie from a few years ago, where famously director Zack Snyder stepped away from the production in the middle of it, and it was finished by Joss Whedon, and like everybody hated it and thought it was awful, and a strange subsection of person started cropping up on Twitter demanding that Warner Brothers release the theoretically existing version of the movie that Zack Snyder had finished, and they called it the Snyder Cut. So they were like, release the Snyder Cut, Warner Brothers. We know you're holding out on us. We don't want the Whedon cut anymore. We want the Snyder Cut. We want the movie as it was originally intended, before it was destroyed by Joss Whedon and the suits at Warner Brothers. The thing is, these people, these release the Snyder Cut fans were like just crazy dedicated on Twitter, like just going nuts trying to get this Snyder this thing they don't even know if it exists or not, trying to get this thing to happen, and then somehow through this strangest twist of fate in history, these people, these Snyder Cut fanatics, got their wish, and the Snyder Cut is actually happening, where Zack Snyder is reworking the footage from Justice League to create a new cut that is closer to his original vision of the movie. So it's kind of insane. Like I don't know, like I can't think of many other situations where fans have, like crazy and like rabid fans have somehow gotten their wish. Like honestly, like all power to them, man. Like they must be like this must have seemed like the Christmas morning to those guys. For the rest of us, it doesn't mean anything because we're still not going to like the movie.
It's like the lamest Christmas gift ever.
The only other thing I could think that's like similar is the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Where
I was just gonna say, this sounds like Sonic. This sounds like the wrong subsection of fans are getting this idea that they have power to influence things to get made the way they want.
Well, yeah, because it's a slippery slope, right? Like, I think we've talked about this before, where it's like if fans start having such a dramatic influence, it's like, they could start demanding movie studios do anything. They could start demanding that they release, a cut of The Irishman that's like an hour and a half long because they don't want to watch a 3-hour movie.
Please do that. Whoever has that power, do it.
And then
we'll call that the For Kyle cut.
Yeah, the For Kyle
of
cut.
Irishman.
But just like disrespecting the vision of the filmmaker, or whatever the original movie was. The difference in this case, of course, is that Zack Snyder is theoretically the creative lead from this DC comic cinematic universe.
Yeah.
So in a sense, like, it makes some sense that they should finish that out with a full-on Zack Snyder production. So honestly, I'm just gonna take a step back here and just acknowledge, it's not for me. It's not for maybe 85% of the population, maybe more than 85%.
That's a large amount of the population.
But it is for that small subsection of Snyder Cut fanatics on Twitter who got what they wanted, and just imagine when they watch it, man, they're gonna have just a great time, unless it sucks for them, like unless it's like the same movie.
No, it's impossible. They're not gonna let it suck for them. It could suck, and in their minds it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like
I don't know what
the people that
do.
are excited for the Snyder Cut liked the original Justice League and now hate it because it's not the Snyder version. They're just gonna love whatever DC comic book thing comes out.
I mean, that is how to be a fan, right? That is the whole thing about fandom. It has nothing to do with the thing you're watching itself, and everything to do with your perception and like love of that media property that is an aspect of your personality, and therefore everything about it you have to buy into.
We're being mean.
Look, I can't fault anybody for any of their choices and what they like, and I'm happy for the Snyder Cut people that they're getting what they want. But I do think it is kind of fascinating and maybe worth taking a critical look at and seeing how what this kind of implies for media and film in general, I guess. But
I can't see stuff like this happening that often.
Yeah, it does seem like an aberration.
Case.
Yeah, no, I agree. It definitely is a strange case. Again, like the only other thing I can think is the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Like,
oh yeah.
So this is definitely sort of unique.
I mean, I will say, for every future comic book, video game, pop culture, whatever, like big movie, if a director ever leaves and the movie sucks, I guarantee we're gonna go through this whole thing again, though.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like unironically saw a post on Twitter, like when I just looked up like Snyder Cut, and a guy was like, Snyder Cut, maybe we could get this next, and it was a picture of the Josh Trank Fantastic Four. And I was like, well, yep, yeah.
Now we're talking.
We joked about that last time we talked about this, but apparently there actually are people that want the Trank Cut.
Release the Josh Trank Cut.
Release the Trank Cut. So yeah, Yeah,
Isn't it possible that there might actually be a Josh Trank cut?
Oh,
though?
that actually I think is more likely than there being a Snyder cut, because Josh Trank
Right.
did finish the movie theoretically.
Right.
You know.
And they just hated what he made.
Yeah, they just they hired him to do something, and then he did it, and they hated it, so they took they reshot the whole thing, and
the thing that just makes me like, I don't know if mad's the right word, but just like the weirdest thing about the Snyder cut is just like people act like there's just this finished version like in a desk somewhere that they just got released, but they spent like $50 million or something making this alternate version of the movie.
Yeah,
like they're reshooting scenes. Like it's not a cut, it's just this, like they're just remaking the movie pretty much.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's so weird.
Yeah,
so I mean that's Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder cut. I mean, it's been a while since we've had Justice League, so it makes sense, that they make a Snyder cut now. But something we've had, even a longer time is the Batman, which we're getting a new Batman movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, with starring Robert Pattinson as Batman, and we're all very excited for that one too.
I haven't
Honestly,
seen
it reminds me a lot of Taxi Driver based on the trailer.
No, stop.
Yeah, so it basically it doesn't end. And
this is actually what Kyle just said is a good reference to, apparently the director Matt Reeves of the Batman said, "Oh yeah, my big inspirations for the Batman were Chinatown and Taxi Driver. Two of the most classic films of all time." But like that, this is like what always happens every time a new superhero movie comes out. Is the director says they were influenced by like the greatest movies ever made. So like Logan was an Ozu film. Yeah.
Joker didn't Todd Phillips also say Taxi Driver for
Joker?
Yeah.
King
like,
of Comedy. Yeah, it was a Scorsese like pastiche or whatever. Like I feel like every director now that directs a superhero movie feels like they need to name drop like a Scorsese movie. I don't know, man. It's funny every time to me.
This stuff's, and it's just gonna happen more and more as time goes on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it'll never end. It is it's the new way of marketing these movies.
Yeah.
Like they need to. Like, and Kyle, like you posted a great thing the other day. You sent me where a guy like was tweeting about the Snyder cut, where somebody had said like, oh, it looks similar to the original Justice League. I like the original Justice League because it was like like a popcorn movie. It was like reminded me of a Saturday morning cartoon or whatever. And this guy responded to that saying like, sometimes we want like a movie that's for adults. You know what I mean? Like not everybody wants to.
Gritty.
Yeah, no, but not everybody wants like a popcorn Saturday morning cartoon movie. The guy had a really good reply that was just, there's a lot of movies without superheroes that are made for adults. And
it's like the best response to that.
Like I don't understand like this mindset where it's like, why do you feel like you need a superhero movie to provide you with adult entertainment?
Yeah.
When that's what the entire movie industry prior to this like whole blockbuster boom was all about. It just blows my mind. I don't know. Like I don't want the Batman.
It's such an amazing like line of thinking that people have nowadays. Yeah. It's just hilarious.
Like, I don't need the Batman to be inspired by, Taxi Driver.
I also don't need a new Batman every 2 years.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. Come on.
I mean,
you need
right.
a new
Batman. I do.
You need.
You keep forgetting about Batman.
I keep forgetting. Just.
Yeah, actually, like the one thing, like over these past few months with the coronavirus, is we kind of had like a bit of a dearth of news from the big superhero like properties, and that it feels like just over the past couple of weeks, it's been like thing after thing after thing of like, oh no, they're back. It's all coming back. Like Olivia Wilde is apparently directing some Marvel movie.
Oh
now I saw that. I think somebody else was directing a Marvel movie.
Olivia Wilde. So wait, so she goes and makes like a nice like coming of age like
that's what you do,
nice
Connor.
Movie, and then like boom, she hit the big time. Marvel.
Connor, that's what that is success in Hollywood. In the modern era, you make like a personal project that you're really passionate about in order to gain enough clout to make a Marvel movie.
Why is it
acted a
like
Marvel
this?
movie.
Why is this
cannot
the
wait.
timeline?
I cannot wait until Greta Gerwig is doing
Yes.
Captain Marvel 2. It's gonna be so great.
I don't think she'll do that.
Please, God. No.
Hey, maybe she would. I don't know. The paycheck is maybe worth it. I think the maybe the incentive for some of these guys is like, well, I'll reach a bigger audience this way. Like I'll be able to make something for a larger audience. But of course, it's filtered through the machine, the Disney machine. So it's like barely making your own piece of work. But whatever you got to tell yourself to accept that job, I guess. I don't know. It's such a strange state of affairs, guys. And I think I started this section by saying we weren't gonna be negative. So,
I think that's the last not negative thing we said in this episode.
You want some positive? Go on David Lynch Theater, his YouTube channel. Every single day you'll find out what the weather is like in LA. Recently he's been wearing some dark glasses, which are just sunglasses, but for David Lynch, they're dark glasses, which is awesome. And he said recently he put on some dark glasses and he said, "I'm wearing these dark glasses today because I see the future, and the future is bright." It was very nice. So
beautiful.
You want something nice? Just go to David Lynch Theater and you'll get it every day, every morning around. If you're on the East Coast, around like 7 a.m. 10 a.m. West Coast, it's great. Oh, he's doing a number of the day now too. So every single day he gets a bucket of numbers 1 to 10, swirls the numbers around and pulls one out, and then you get the number of the day.
What was today's number, Connor? Did you happen to catch it?
I think today's number, at the recording of this, is 10. The thing that people are really going nuts about right now is that there hasn't been like a 7 yet, and people are going wild. Hasn't been a 7 yet, and they're like, "What does that mean? No 7." So they're waiting. No, that's what's happening right now.
I really enjoy how we just spent the majority of this episode like kind of being down on superhero movies, a thing that 95 to 99% of people generally like, and then immediately segue to talking about how excited we are about a guy saying what the number of the day is.
That's art, Joey.
I don't. Are we insane? We might be.
Possibly.
I don't know where to go from here, fellas.
Joey, have you watched any movies lately?
Hey, let's talk about some movies we watched lately. So I can think of like one movie I saw that we never got a chance to talk about in depth, but it's sort of like more in the news lately than usual. I had never seen any movies by Terrence Malick up until like last month, I believe. And of course, Terrence Malick is very well known as one of the premier art house directors, I guess. And somehow I had just avoided like all of his movies. So I started pretty much from the beginning and watched Days of Heaven recently, which is very famous for its cinematography. The entire movie was shot during golden hour, which is like a period of time during the day where it's like 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour at night, where the sun is like just before sunset, but still in the sky enough to like light up the area. And it gives like this particularly like dreamlike like setting for like photography and movies and stuff. The entire movie, this entire 90-minute movie was shot during that window of time, allegedly. So that would mean like everybody, would pack it all up after that 1 hour was finished for a large part of the scene.
That seems insane.
It is insane, but the effect is undeniably gorgeous. Like the movie looks incredible. And the reason I watched it at the time was that was around when Ennio Morricone had passed away, and he did the score for the movie, which is just phenomenal, like phenomenal music as usual. Not usually considered one of his like major works, but definitely something that's very, very effective for the movie. And it was a very, very good movie. Very well told, well paced, simple story that is basically like a little tragedy. and really like not much more to say about it than that. The only thing that makes it a little bit more in the news lately is that one of the actresses in it, Linda Manns, who plays like one of the younger sisters of the main characters and provides like kind of voiceover narration for the entire movie. She actually just recently passed away. Just like I don't know if it was just like last week or something like that. So a lot of people have been talking about this movie, and her performance in it is very, very striking, and it stands out, I think, to everybody who watches it. And I don't think I'd ever seen her in a movie before watching this, but it definitely like made an impression. So hearing that she passed away recently was pretty sad. So I would definitely recommend that anybody check out Days of Heaven. It definitely made me curious to check out a few more Terrence Malick movies. Connor, what have you been watching?
Okay, over the weekend, I watched a movie called Pieta. It is a South Korean film. It's directed by Ki-duk, who I don't know if you are familiar with him at all, Joey. Are you,
I don't think
or
so.
are you not?
No.
He is a very somewhat controversial director. He makes some very out there movies that are considered very taboo subjects a lot of the time. Yeah, he's where if you have like even he said before, like you have a mainstream guy, like mainstream for him is for like Korean directors everybody knows is like Bong Joon-ho, like Kim Ki-duk, like that is his stuff. He's like, I'm not gonna make mainstream stuff like those guys. And if that for people who've seen Bong Joon-ho's films, so those aren't that mainstream, like, but his are very much his voice, and he's gonna do whatever he wants in these, and he's also an auteur who writes and directs. In this movie Pieta, he wrote and directed. It had a lot of critical acclaim. It won the Venice Film Festival Golden Lion Award in 2012. If you're familiar with that award, it's like I guess it's essentially like the best picture, right?
Isn't that what Joker won?
I think it did. Yeah, so they like maybe
great
that's
movies
like,
win that award.
I wonder if that's like if one thing that they have in common is that they're very out there, kind of dark subject matters, I guess. But this one is obviously much better than Joker.
I haven't seen Joker. That's the lost episode. We never released our Joker review.
No, that's
Wait,
a lost
that
episode.
never got released.
That's a lost episode. Anyway, so this one, Pieta, it is about a man who is a debt collector for like a loan shark agency in Seoul. And what he does is he basically goes to people who have borrowed money and tries to get it from them in some way. And if they can't pay, he, gets the money out of them somehow, usually it's by injuring them in such a way that they can collect the insurance money that they'll collect for them getting injured. So he is obviously involved in some pretty shady stuff, where he ends up he cripples people essentially. So they can't pay back the loan that they borrow this money. They ask for more time. He breaks their arm if they work with their arms, and then like they get the insurance money. He takes it, whatever.
Sounds like a good guy.
Not a great guy, but he had a very rough upbringing, and then his life kind of gets turned upside down when a mysterious woman comes into his life and follows him around wherever he goes and claims to be his long-lost mother. Yeah, it's not great. And he hated it too, Kyle. So
I can imagine.
And then as this woman keeps following him around, he starts to like wonder, like, is this possibly her trying to make amends? And that's what it seems like. She's making meals for him and stuff like that here and there, and he's trying to like see. It's a movie about like, can you be redeemed? Like he's feeling that himself. Like now that his mother is back in his life, can he kind of turn things around? Can he not? And at the same time, there's like this vengeance plot that's going on between the people that he's crippling essentially for the money that they've borrowed, and how all that kind of stuff interacts. It's very good. It's shot extremely well. It's extremely dark. Within like the first 5 minutes, I think you see, or no, even the first minute or two, a guy hangs himself. So that's kind of rough to see.
Thanks.
Yeah, so it sets the tone right there, and then like very shortly after that, you have another like really brutal scene. It's tough to watch. It's definitely something that makes you think. It's got a solid ending. If I had a criticism with it, I'd say that the characters are a little thin, where you don't really see a lot of like why they are the way they are. There's a sense I get from this guy, this director, is he's very like laser focused on the point he's trying to make and like the message he's trying to deliver, if that makes sense. Like there's still a lot you can think about after you've seen it all, but it's like very, very direct. There's not a lot of time in the film for like a character development kind of thing. But
Gotcha.
It's very good. It's very good. I enjoyed it. Obviously, the Venice Film Festival did too. But they also like Joker, so can't.
They have a high quality standard. When they see greatness, they award greatness. It's as simple as that.
I'm just upset that Todd Phillips is a master filmmaker, Connor.
Yes, so Pieta, I would recommend it.
I think I'll have to look that one
up. If you're
up.
looking for a good feel-bad movie.
Well, in the year 2020, I definitely want to feel worse, so that sounds fun.
Sometimes when you're already feeling bad, seeing something that's also bad kind of like level sets you.
Oh, yeah, I get
sense,
that. Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense. I'm glad you agreed completely full-heartedly, though.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
I'm always going to agree with you, Connor.
Oh, I appreciate it, dude.
Kyle.
Yeah.
What have you been watching lately?
Well, it's hard to compare with what you guys have been watching. You guys have been watching, great films like The Joker, like similar to The Joker. And I just can't compare with that. So all I've been watching lately, because movies are dead, I don't watch movies anymore. I've been watching My Name is Earl.
The TV show?
The hit TV show from the early 2000s.
Oh man, I forgot about My Name is Earl.
Everyone did.
With Crabman?
Yeah,
hey,
Crabman. And ex-professional skateboarder Jason Lee.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is
the
it
show's
good?
okay.
Okay.
It's okay. It's whatever.
So, yeah, it was very worthy of a rewatch. The most okay shows.
It's one of those shows I watched in the past, and I saw it on Hulu. I was like, yeah, I'll watch a few episodes.
Then a few episodes turned into.
I'm on season 3 right now. It just snowballed. I just can't stop. It's just it's just too good. I just can't stop.
That character development in My Name is Earl.
Oh my gosh.
It's not to be underestimated.
From episode 1 to episode 50, it's incredible how the characters change.
Okay.
I don't believe you. I haven't seen My Name is Earl, so I really can't say anything. But
guess you got to watch to find out.
We're gonna have to we're gonna have to watch something together over these next the next few days maybe, and we'll do a proper Lopes on Movies review of a nice movie. We really need another Capone.
We do need another Capone.
I did almost see the movie Tesla over the weekend because Kyle MacLachlan was in it. And,
of course.
And so I gotta show solidarity to my boy, and then Ethan Hawke's in it too. But then I realized this is gonna be just another awful biopic. Like, why would I do this to myself?
Yeah, come on, please. Well, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Lopes on Movies. We hope we'll see you again next week, where we'll hopefully talk about a regular movie review, do a proper episode of this show, and give you guys just the best movie expertise that money can buy,
that we can possibly slap together.
Yeah, which is not very good, but it's better than nothing, I guess. But if you like what you're hearing, definitely check out our Instagram page, which Connor has been putting some effort into lately.
Little bit at Lopes on Movies.
Got some real low effort memes on there. Really just the best stuff.
That's the best kind.
And definitely check us out on Spotify, because that's where we are now, and other podcast places, iTunes or whatever. I have to upload our YouTube backlog, but we're there also, and we got a lot of good stuff on our YouTube page. So definitely check us out if you enjoy this, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.